Hey Dumblies, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to get into Jungkook being the face of BTS and kind of addressing why they were not at the Met Gala and why they haven't been ever, I don't think. I wanted to get into this and of course have a discussion. I also want to talk about Jimin and his opinion on this person's boobs and what is going on with this. This is hilarious, so we will talk about that at the end. So grab your dumpling, a tea-spilling mug merch, and let's jump into the tea. If you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, I'd like to be first to leave your hate comment. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also, and you'll be first to do so. Now let's jump into it. The first thing I want to get into was Jungkook and BTS. Jungkook is known as one of the faces of BTS, and recently he and the rest of BTS have been honored in such a way that is just unimaginable. And I just feel so few artists have done such a thing. Recently, BTS was supposed to, or believed to attend the Met Gala. Now, a seating arrangement of the Met Gala had been allegedly leaked, and BTS was not on there. And of course, some armies were disappointed. But it later came out that the seating arrangement was actually fake and it wasn't going to be seated that way. I guess someone made it up. I did think it was weird that this was the only year something like this was leaked. And people were just mad at how many YouTubers and TikTokers were going to be sprinkled in with celebrities and next to people like Beyonce. But while the seating arrangement seemed to have not been real, the people in the chart were seemingly all people that were there. There were a few people who were invited that I didn't see in the chart, like Rosé, and she was there representing YSL. And basically the outfits this year were so bad. Rosé was alright. Pretty much the YouTubers and TikTokers were just all so bad. But since it came out that the seating arrangement was fake, people thought that maybe BTS would actually be there, only to be surprised that they were not. Some speculated if they were even invited, and others even added memes to the interwebs with Jungkook flying through the red carpet and all that sort of thing. The internet, or the K-pop internet, kind of blew up after seeing Rosé at the Met, and links were making fun of BTS, saying that BTS isn't big because they were not invited. Well, BTS isn't really an ambassador for any big fashion brands in America except Louis Vuitton, because they can't turn that down. But I also feel like they weren't ambassadors as much as just artists hired to do the commercial, because I haven't seen too much with them and LV outside the commercial. I don't know, just my theory. I obviously don't know their contract. But them doing LV may be due to their management or them simply not wanting BTS to do others. BTS has never stated that they were into fashion or really cared to be fashion icons. Of course they are, but I don't think they had strived to be. They don't try to make fashion statements, whereas of course Blackpink tries to lean into that. Two completely different artists that people like to pin together. I never understood. Rosé is one of the first ambassadors in like 50 years that YSL had, so of course she was invited to the gala. One of the other things that possibly contributed to BTS not being there, which was completely overshadowed, was that BTS was at the UN Assembly. Just to clarify, the UN Assembly takes place on the 21st of September. They need to prepare, I guess. And they didn't fly to the US, even to attend the VMAs. The United Nations requested that BTS go and accept an award. They all walked with President Moon, which is such an honor. I think he is the president of South Korea. And BTS represented the country's pride. The way BTS has brought Korean culture to America and also apparently so much money into the Korean economy. It's no wonder the government wants to recognize them in such a way. This was on the same day as the Met Gala, and of course if BTS had to choose which to attend, they would need to attend this, not the Met Gala. As for being invited to the Met, I do think they could have gotten an invitation. This was a moment where I believe it was Pied Piper by BTS was being played. When Anna Wintour was talking to someone, you could hear the song being played. Of course, this isn't a radio station being played, and this is probably a curated track list specifically made for the event. So we know that the Met has acknowledged BTS, and that was probably their way of giving homage. Also, songs like Pied Piper wouldn't be played in American mainstream radio because they hate Korean songs. But that's a whole other thing. Fashion has always acknowledged culture and new fresh forms of expression, and so of course the Met would love BTS to be there, and BTS being there would make a big statement. While I don't think YouTubers and TikToks were dressed well, bringing them to the show is exactly what fashion represents: new and fresh faces, but also new media instead of just traditional media. So I don't understand people being mad that YouTubers were invited. It's just part of the new era of media, and fashion is about telling a story and making a statement. And they wanted to be the first to say that they support YouTubers. However, going back, if you do look at the history of BTS being in America, and if they ever attended the Met Gala, I'd say the answer is no, right? I do believe Jungkook is someone who would be a little against going to that sort of event. Of course, now they are in this position where they can do whatever they want and don't really need the platform of something like the Met Gala. Jungkook has expressed how modeling and photography is something that is very uncomfortable for him, and that he does not enjoy things like that. Our boys recently have been avoiding events and appearances that they don't care for. It would almost seem disingenuous for them to attend a fashion event like that, especially if they don't care that much. Or if the idea of having your photo taken in a fashion aspect is somewhat uncomfortable for Jungkook or BTS members. numbers. I don't see BTS attending the Met anytime soon, and if they do attend next year, I'd be pretty shocked. But of course, I will support them whatever they do. Interests always change. Just a few years ago, they mentioned how they wouldn't do English songs, so things can definitely change. I also do want to add, I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on a person being on TV or on a show because it's prestigious, right? You can say I was on so-and-so show, but you can take a look at the ratings of a show and immediately realize that if BTS just did a live stream, they would reach more people than if they attended an American talk show or a fashion show in this case. Also, they probably realized a long time ago that appearing in these shows doesn't do anything for them. It's not like once they appear at the Met, suddenly their album sales will go up, or maybe it would, I don't know. But I assume it wouldn't, which would be a big reason for them maybe to be like, not worth our time to do that event. And so we put emphasis on attending these events, but typically big artists can choose to not attend because it's a headache to get an outfit together. Potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars on clothes, and you can potentially spend a lot of time getting ready for the event and not even knowing if you'll make money through the exposure that the event will give you. Does that make sense? BTS music have very little tie into fashion. Why would someone see BTS with a cute outfit and decide to buy their music? Very little correlation. Whereas Blackpink's music does, and they're girls, it typically will. Even just a few years ago, BTS was doing more appearances on Korean TV. And I've even mentioned this not being a big return on investment for them because their time is money. And they have since stopped doing that as much and have almost exclusively transitioned to doing American TV and performances, which I guess has helped a little more. Jimin was on a Korean show a little while back and it was hilarious. I really do like it when they did those shows, even if it didn't make financial sense for them. I don't know the whole context of this or if it was entirely a Korean show. I know Japanese shows like to do hilarious things like what I'm about to say, so it could be Japanese. But the host or MC was a guy in drag and he had stuffed his bra to make his boobs look really big. Because of course, if you're dressing up as a woman, you might as well have the best experience and have the largest boobs ever. Jimin was looking at said boobs and then used his hand to cover the boobs because it was too much for him. The MC caught wind of that and turned around and pushed his chest out to show Jimin more. Jimin turned away and started laughing, and then even J-Hope saw this and couldn't help but start laughing a lot more too. It was so funny. But it was so cute that Jimin reacted in such a way. He was like, I can't look at boobs. But then he was like, I also like boobs. He raised his eyebrows when taking a first glance. I think a lot of people were laughing and thought it was very cute how he was acting around that, and it was just genuinely so adorable. A lot of these Korean shows, we got to see how BTS acts normally and just how cute and funny they all naturally are. At the time, they didn't have to worry about people saying stuff because they were just making jokes and just chilling. Now they make eye contact with girls and it's this whole thing. I do think things are changing, which I am glad to see. I am hopeful one day that we get Korean idols to feel more comfortable in the media, or maybe just not caring what these trolls say if there's enough people not caring about, let's say, a dating room. Then these idols will be more relaxed when it comes to this sort of stuff. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to go over there and check that out. I have a lot of videos over there that I can't really post on here. This is due to copyright or getting taken down, so I do keep it over there on my Patreon. You can get videos over there like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions. You can also recommend things you'd like to see over there. We also do have a great time interacting and having fun over there. So if you're interested in any of that and would like to partake in that, link is in the top of the description down below. There's also a video over there that kind of goes over how you can support this channel even more if you would like to do that. That video is on the front page. Make sure you check that out. With that said, there's two videos that will appear up on screen at the end of this video, so click on one of those and I'll see you over there. Bye.